Alrighty folks, if you're thinking about buying a new fifth wheel, and it doesn't matter if it's one of these high-end Riverstones or any of the other manufacturers out there, a lot of these parts that they put on these things are made by the same companies, and they purchase them and put them on their units. But you need to watch this video just so that you don't get yourself in some of these situations. I couldn't even imagine us picking this thing up, filling it full of all of our stuff, taking off across the country like we did, putting almost 10,000 miles on it, and having the leaf springs break, or ripping off the tires, the fenders, and all that stuff coming apart. I couldn't even imagine this day and time with how hard it is to get things fixed and get parts, where you'd stay, what you would do, the amount it would cost, and these things happen. Now, we have been super lucky. I mean, we picked our fifth wheel up in Texas, and we brought it back to my kid's house in Oklahoma, and I was actually able to, check everything out. But when I picked it up, these are the other things you want to do. You want to hook onto your fifth wheel. You want to go, I don't know, 10 miles down the road, pull over, double check everything you did, double check everything on that fifth wheel. Then maybe go another 50 or 100 miles and pull into a parking lot somewhere and crawl underneath it and double check everything, because these things, just the quality, I don't even know if it's the quality. I think the quality control's not there, or the problem is they just don't. They should put these things together and they should take them like a test run, and somebody that's experienced check them out a little bit more, because a lot of the stuff just gets pushed through. And another thing people seem to forget about is these things are built in Indiana, most of them, and you got a dealer in Texas, they hire some guy for so much a mile to go and hook onto this thing and haul it to them, and he's not paid by the hour. He's not a company man. He's an independent guy that really doesn't give a crap about your stuff. All his object is to get there, and one thing about that, he wants to get there as fast as possible so he can hook on another one and do it all over again. So he's that guy that's flying down the road with your $200,000 unit running 80 mile an hour, hitting every pothole out there. And this happens because I hear about all the ones on the side of the road with broken tires and issues, and a lot of times they're saying that it's not built right. A lot of times it's that guy towing it because he doesn't care about this thing. So you got to keep that in mind when you go to pick that fifth wheel up. You're not the first person to hook on that and take it down the road, and it was probably somebody that really didn't care about it, and it wasn't the dealer. So these are other things you need to think about. And the reason I did this video today is I had a subscriber. His name is Mike. I don't want to say his last name, but he bought the exact same unit that me and Robin have, and it's a 2022, and he purchased it out of Texas, and he went and picked it up in Texas, and I can't remember the exact mileage, but he got it maybe a couple hundred miles down the road, and that exact nightmare that I just talked about, it happened to him. That's the reason I brought it up in this video. The leaf springs came apart. The little bands that were on the leaf springs, there weren't even any bands on it. They told him they didn't even need those bands. Well, we all know if you didn't need them, why would they be on there in the first place? So none of that made sense. But I can tell you that it took him a long time to get any of his money back out of that, and it was his own expense, and he didn't have one thing that he purchased in that fifth wheel. So imagine when you buy these things and they weigh 16 or 17,000 pounds, and payload's 20,000, and you put $2,000 or $3,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of your personal items in that thing. He didn't even have that, and the thing already came apart. So that freaked me out, because me and Robin been everywhere, and I could not imagine dealing with that. I couldn't imagine leaving my fifth wheel in some other state and driving back to Colorado and staying with family, because we're full-time, and I'm can't live in hotels permanently. Well, it takes them 6 months to fix my stuff, so I'd be just like Mike was, and I'd pay somebody to fix it all and make it even. Sorry about that, folks, 'cause every now and then somebody comes by on this road pretty fast. But I couldn't imagine spending thousands and thousands of dollars just to get my brand new fifth wheel that I just picked up and spent all that money on, put back together. But I know that he put stronger stuff in it, because like he told me on the phone, these things, once you start putting stuff in them, you're over the weight limit, and that's why they tell you not to, run it down the road with any water in your tanks. Well, you're getting ready like us to go up in the mountains and go boondocking, you're going to fill your water tanks up. Plus, I'm going to fill my ones up in the truck, because when you're boondocking, you don't have all that luxury. So why they don't put bigger axles in these things right off the bat? I mean, you know, it does not cost them that much to go a little extra right away, so you never have these problems. So I don't understand why these manufacturers don't do that in the first place. So that's what this video is about. If you're going to get into RV life and you're going to go buy one of these, you need to come across videos like this, and you need to really check this stuff out and stay on top of it. And if you don't have any mechanical knowledge at all, then maybe you don't need to get into this life. At least, you know, not right away. Or, you know, people tell you to buy a used one because the people fixed everything within the first year. Well, they did fix all those problems, but now all those miles and it's sitting around and water and rust and all those other things that get in there, there's no guarantee that that one's not going to break either. So, you know, you really need to know what you're doing when you get into this life, and pay attention and get on all these pages on Facebook and talk to these guys. Don't get me wrong, you know, good 60% of them are useful and helpful, and then you always got the guy out there that's just miserable and hates life and has to throw some shitty comment on there on, you know, your brand new unit you just bought, and he's telling you don't have a big enough truck for it, and you probably don't, but you know, you could be a little nicer than that about it, because that's the one thing I hate about those sites, and that's why I go on YouTube, because I seem to get people that are more genuine. They want to talk about it, they want to know about it, and that's why we did this YouTube channel, because I got tired of that stuff out there. You know, you're proud of your new unit and your new life, and you put it out there, and you got 4 or 5 guys that just got to bash it. Now, they're either bashing it because they're jealous, or they're bashing it because they're miserable with life or something. Because one thing I don't do is, if I don't agree with you on something, I'm not going to even comment on your stuff. You know, I'm going to look at it, you know, think what I think in my mind and go from there, but I'm not going to sit down there and bash you on your life. You know, it's just bad for everybody. It's just, you know, it's just not the right way to do things, folks. But I love people that comment. So if you're going to comment on this, that's great. And if your comment, you know, is usable to, you know, for everybody out there, we're going to comment right back, and you know, it's awesome. So, but if you're the guy that's just miserable, you know, just move on to the next channel. We don't need that here. And if this is the type of stuff you want to see in these videos, folks, give us a thumbs up. And if not, give us a thumbs down, or give us in the comment things that you don't like that I do or say or something like that. You know, I'm real easy to work with, and I appreciate everybody that's been watching our channel. But I'm gonna walk over here and crawl underneath this fifth wheel and take a look and see if we have any issues like that, because now I've been checking tire pressures, and I did the bearings, made sure they had grease and stuff in them after this trip. But to be honest, I never even thought about looking at my leaf springs, so I'm just as you know, bad about this stuff as everybody out there that's thinking about buying or watching these videos. So just remember, let's take a look under here. Now, I could not imagine going down the road like Mike did with his brand new unit. And these bands, he said, were not even on here at all. They say you don't even need them, maybe you don't. But all this stuff came apart. So in my opinion, they didn't, you know, tighten it up enough. You know, who really knows? But all this stuff came apart, you know, and it took everything out. Took out his fender wells, and you know, he ended up replacing everything, axles and everything underneath here. So, I mean, I don't see anything cracked, anything, you know, anything that I need to be too worried about. So, if you're watching this video and you're seeing any of this stuff, and you see anything that I'm missing, I mean, it looks like all the nuts and bolts and everything is still on there like they're supposed to. Let's see if we can see on that side. Yeah, everything. But I'm probably going to have to throw a wrench on that stuff and make sure that there's no issues. You know, I do like the way they did this enclosure on this. Everything is screwed down. You know, it's not some felt or some kind of stuff that you got to cut open, tape back up, and looks like crap after you work on it one time. So, you know, Riverstone did a great job there. But I don't see any, you know, don't see anything. I didn't rub anything or mess anything up. But, you know, I just wanted to throw out a short video, folks. you know, to keep an eye on these type of things. And you know, when you go pick that brand new unit up, you need to crawl under your unit and check it all out before you even leave these dealers, and see if you can find something wrong before you even leave, before you have any of these nightmares. Because you know, ever since we started this YouTube channel, there's always somebody messaging me, or you know, getting me, holding me on Facebook, getting my phone number. We call and talk to each other about these things, and I just can't believe some of the stuff that happens. And I wish I would have known some of that before we purchased a fifth wheel and got on the road, but I guess, you know, you can look at it this way. We've been lucky, but you know, like anything, that luck can always run out. And we're stationary right now, but we'll be getting back on the road with this thing here shortly, and I don't want to have any of those nightmares. So just remember, folks, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing on this channel, subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate everybody out there that's subscribed to this channel. I've actually enjoyed this, and you know what? Robin's getting better at it. She's actually starting to get on board now, so it's being a lot more fun. So thanks for watching.